It's impossible to find a job. I worked so hard to earn a graduate degree from a top-tier 985 university, but now I can't find a job at all. When I was little, I thought I'd grow up to be somebody incredible, but now as an adult, I feel like I'm nothing, completely useless. If you're a loser, don't even bother working. I make 2,000 yuan a month, and I get so angry at work, but don't even dare to speak up. I just cry in secret. It makes my face red with frustration. I make 2,000 yuan a month. One day, this anger will literally kill me. The video shows a young woman with a degree from a prestigious 985 university in China. She breaks down in tears, sharing that she's doing a job she finds meaningless and earning just 2,000 yuan a month. Low pay is bad enough, but her boss constantly belittles her, leaving her on the verge of collapse. She feels humiliated, treated no differently from someone with only a middle school education. If even graduates from elite schools face this reality, how much worse must it be for those from lesser well-known universities or vocational schools? Recently, on a street in Shenzhen, another woman was seen walking while crying, with tears streaming through her fingers. She just graduated this year, full of hope, and moved to the bustling city in search of her dream job. But after a month, none of the resumes she sent out got a response, and she's had only a few interviews. Every rejection felt like a heavy blow. Physically and emotionally exhausted, she's been struggling to find work. College students' naivete has been shattered. Here's the story. A netizen attended the 2025 Fall Campus Job Fair in Shanghai. This undergraduate student had high hopes, thinking that in Shanghai they could easily secure a monthly salary of 10,000 or 18,000 yuan. But then they saw a company offering an intern position at a finance company. The job requires a bachelor's degree with a monthly salary of just 800 to 1,499 yuan. They were stunned. Imagine Shanghai in 2024 still has jobs that pay only 800 yuan a month. Some might say that such roles are just for serving tea or fetching water, but even for a Java software developer position at the same company, the salary was the same, barely 1,500 yuan. Perhaps people will say that there are too many graduates right now, so their value has dropped. On the same day, a large state-owned company was recruiting graduates with a daily wage of 180 yuan for master's degree holders, 160 yuan for bachelor's degree holders, and 140 yuan for vocational school graduates. Seeing such wages left students feeling hopeless. The fact that employers can set such low wages shows how true the saying is, if you won't do it, someone else will. Campus recruitment fairs attract many students every year. Some students take these events very seriously, hoping to secure a good job before graduation. On November 14th, during a job fair at a 211-ranked university in Shanghai, a publicly listed company sparked heated discussion by offering a monthly salary of just 800 to 1,499 yuan for a programmer intern. For many college students, 800 yuan isn't even enough to cover basic living expenses, especially in a high-cost city like Shanghai. This university is a top 211 institution, known for its students' strong academic abilities and exceptional professional skills. Computer science students in particular often graduate expecting monthly salaries well over 10,000 yuan. Some netizens commented, "What kind of publicly listed company is this? Please reveal the name so I can promote them for free." Another shared, "My nephew graduated from a private university and found a company offering a 3-month trial period. He worked hard only to be let go at the end. Later, he found out that the company only hires graduates for trial periods, doesn't offer insurance benefits, and pays low wages, and there are so many graduates looking for jobs out there." Following Shanghai's job fair, another job fair in Xi'an made headlines for something even more absurd, a position offering a minimum monthly salary of just 1 yuan.
Everyone, they're not even pretending anymore. They're outright saying they don't want to hire anyone. Recently, a well-known state-owned enterprise offered salaries of just 1 yuan to 1,000 yuan at a campus recruitment fair at a university in Xi'an. When I saw that, I was stunned. If you don't want people to apply, just say so. Why go through the motions of holding a fake recruitment fair? No wonder people online have pointed out that when a company lists a range like 5,000 to 7,000 yuan, they actually mean 5 yuan to 7,000 yuan. And now this company is offering 1 to 1,000 yuan. That's 1 yuan at the low end. My goodness, if I took that job, I'd have to pay to work after covering rent and expenses. Are we moving toward companies charging us to work? Soon they'll say, if you're capable, you earn 5,000 yuan. If not, you pay us to work here. Paid employment feels like it's just around the corner. Oh, and by the way, this was at the top tier university. How has a degree become so worthless? A salary of 1 to 1,000 yuan? This isn't enough to even buy food.
The position required a bachelor's degree in information and computer science. The video caused an uproar in the comment section. Some people said, "Was this a mistake? Maybe they meant daily wages, because this monthly salary is clearly insulting." Another commented, "Even construction jobs pay more than this. I can't believe a state-owned company would offer such salaries." Someone else joked, "Might as well deliver food. You can easily make 3,000 yuan a month and have a relaxed schedule." Insiders revealed that the company didn't actually want to hire anyone. They were just there to support the organizers of the job fair. By offering such ridiculously low salaries, they discouraged people from applying. While some companies at least pretend by offering 2 to 3,000 yuan salaries, this state-owned enterprise didn't even bother. It openly listed 1 to 1,000 yuan. The staff at the job fair didn't look happy either. Many students immediately realized that these companies weren't serious about hiring. It made them feel like their university wasn't helping them, but rather misleading them. The low salaries left many students disheartened. After more than a decade of education, their wages could barely compare to delivering food or doing construction work. It's hard to imagine how people earning less than 2,000 yuan a month even survive, yet there are many who do. After social insurance deductions, I receive a salary of 1,975 yuan. You might find that surprising, but this is actually what a significant portion of people earn. I work for the Postal Service, with 40 years of experience. My take-home pay is 2,300 yuan, and I live in a city in Heilongjiang Province. Over half the wages in China are around 3,000 yuan. I'm from Gansu. My husband earns 1,600 yuan a month. Believe it or not, it's true. In recent years, China's economy has been in decline. The growth drivers of traditional manufacturing and service industries have weakened, directly impacting the creation of new job opportunities. Faced with economic uncertainty, many companies have opted to scale back hiring or implement layoffs, making the job market increasingly competitive. I still haven't found a job, and it feels like the fall recruitment season is already over. Back in college, when I couldn't find a job I liked, I decided to go to graduate school, thinking that with a master's degree, finding a job would be much easier. But I didn't realize the difficulty would be about the same as when I had only a bachelor's degree. To make things worse, my major is extremely niche, so much so that it feels almost absurd. I majored in publishing, and many people haven't even heard of it. The job market for this field is incredibly tough. I sent out over 100 resumes but haven't received a single offer. Most companies require online applications, where you have to fill out endless tests and questionnaires before even submitting your resume. And when you finally do submit it, it disappears into the void, with no response whatsoever. Recently in Nanchang, a young woman was seen sitting on the street, crying into her hands, with a suitcase by her side. A concerned passerby asked about her situation. She said she was a college student from Henan who had been lured to Nanchang by a shady recruitment agency, promising a high hourly rate of 30 yuan. Now she's left with nothing, no money, and no idea what to do next. As unemployment rates continue to climb, on November 14th, the Chinese government announced that the 2025 graduating class of college students is projected to reach 12.22 million, a year-on-year increase of 430,000 compared to the 2024 graduating class. Even more concerning, over the next decade, the number of college graduates is expected to grow even larger. This trend can already be seen in the rising number of high school exam takers. 4 years ago, the number was 10.7 million, but this year it rose to 13.4 million and is expected to exceed 14 million next year. The peak is projected for 2031. This indicates that China is likely to face a longer than expected period of employment challenges. In 10 years, the number of college graduates may surpass everyone's expectations, with more graduates each year and fewer jobs available. So, how are graduates handling job hunting pressures? Matt, a 2023 graduate in pharmaceutical studies from Guangxi Medical University, shared his perspective in an interview with Radio Free Asia. He said that his graduating class faced significant challenges finding jobs. When Matt graduated in June 2023, he was interning at a pharmaceutical company in Guangxi. While the internship provided food, lodging, and insurance, the monthly stipend was just 2,800 yuan, with 140 yuan deducted for meals. The internship was only open to male students. As 2024 comes to an end, many large companies are laying off workers or cutting salaries, while small businesses struggle with losses or insolvency. Small factories are barely hanging on. These trends reflect the broader economic difficulties. Videos of people crying about being laid off at the end of the year have gone viral, showing how suddenly lives have been upended. Many feel completely overwhelmed, unsure how to make it through the new year. I just lost my job. I finished my resignation paperwork, and today is my last day at work. People have been saying 2024 is tough, with many big companies laying off employees, but I didn't think it would happen to me. This morning, I went to work feeling happy and optimistic, only to be called into an emergency meeting in the afternoon. The boss announced that our work would end today, effective immediately. I thought about my monthly fixed expenses: mortgage, utilities, food, basic needs, and credit card payments. My monthly costs exceed 10,000 yuan, not including unexpected medical bills. Every day has a price, and without an income, I feel panicked. This was my only source of income. The job market has been so bad in recent years, with millions of companies shutting down. For people like me in my 30s, finding a new job is incredibly hard. Low-paying jobs can't cover my living expenses, and higher-paying jobs aren't hiring people like me. Resumes I've sent out just disappear with no responses. I didn't dare to tell my family after being laid off. My parents are old, and I'm afraid they won't be able to handle the news. Finding a job is already difficult, but keeping one is even harder. A new wave of layoffs and pay cuts is expected at the end of the year, and this round is different from previous ones. Earlier layoffs were preventative, with companies bracing for market downturns and cutting 5% to 15% of staff. Now the situation is more dire. Performance reports are in, and companies are feeling the pain. Entire business lines are being shut down, and entire subsidiaries are closing. The job market outlook continues to worsen. Recently, several major industries in China have experienced overlapping waves of layoffs. These include downsizing in the automotive and live stream e-commerce sectors due to market declines, withdrawal-driven layoffs in foreign enterprises, job cuts in the internet sector due to shifting business models and losses, redundancies in the photovoltaic and renewable energy industries due to intense competition, and layoffs in the financial sector following deep restructuring. For ordinary people, this adds to the growing sense of crisis. The anxiety of facing unemployment has become a universal struggle. China's economic challenges, dragged down by the real estate crisis, a sluggish post-pandemic recovery, government debt, regulatory crackdowns on finance, technology, and education sectors, and policies prioritizing new productive forces continue to exert pressure on the job market. Professor Sun Guoxiang at Taiwan's Nanhua University specializes in international affairs and business. He recently commented that China's employment situation will worsen next year. He predicts that many graduates will have to opt for so-called flexible employment, which often comes with unstable incomes and fails to meet the expected returns of higher education. Difficulties in employment are likely to increase social instability, especially in smaller cities and rural areas, where unemployed graduates returning home will add pressure on local governments. Sun believes that workplace failures can erode young people's confidence and lead to higher rates of depression and anxiety. If mental health issues are not addressed adequately, they could escalate into a broader social crisis. For the Chinese government, widespread youth unemployment directly impacts consumption growth, dragging down economic recovery and creating a vicious cycle. Politically, discontent among young people could eventually challenge the authorities. One event that has recently sparked widespread attention is the mass night ride protest organized by Zhengzhou University students. The movement reached its peak on November 8th, with bike convoys reaching for tens of kilometers, clogging the streets with shared bikes. Reports suggest that students from across the country participated, with numbers exceeding 200,000 at its peak. The movement spread to other cities, including Beijing. The Chinese government responded with strict measures to suppress the protests, issuing emergency orders to ban all night rides. Roads were blocked, and universities in Henan and other provinces were placed under lockdown, reminiscent of the harsh COVID-19 restrictions. These actions left students feeling devastated, leading to online protests. Many observers have noted that the fear of graduating into unemployment is driving these emotions, with youth unemployment rates remaining high and college graduates seeing little hope for their futures. Students have turned to such protests as a way to vent their frustrations. Similar sentiments were evident during the White Paper movement against COVID-19 lockdowns in late November 2022. At that time, many students joined protests calling for Xi Jinping to step down and for the Communist Party to step down. Sun Guoxiang noted that from the White Paper movement to the recent night ride protests, there's a clear indication of young people's strong desire to express themselves. If the unemployment issue remains unresolved, more decentralized and covert forms of protest may emerge in the future. Taiwanese financial expert Edward Huang warned that prolonged youth unemployment will exert significant pressure on China's political and economic systems. Although the government no longer publishes youth unemployment statistics, estimates suggest that the actual rate could be as high as 30 to 40%. Huang emphasized that this growing pressure creates social instability. The government's cautious handling of actions like the Zhengzhou night ride underscores the fear that unemployed and frustrated youth could quickly channel their anger towards society and the government. If these issues persist, they could pose even greater challenges to China's stability in the coming years.